I'll go back to my roots and do what I used to do best in terms of the organization, in terms of development. Is left foot to put it in. But yeah, man, it was gonna make a huge difference if Matthew scored that opportunity. And unfortunately, when you are still watching and then just something just come to your eye, and the minute you're still trying to clear what is in your eye, and then when you open your eyes, you find yourself in a very difficult position. Sundowns, I said last night after time, Sundowns is going to lose 2-1 against Pyramids. Look, this final was between the coaches, not players.
You need facts, figures, scores, and scoops, and the truth.
Oi, welcome to Those Football Wisdom. And as Bafet, we are live every Monday, 10 o'clock. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and post. We are on Omni Audio Africa. Oi.
Babuto, groot manne. Big weekend, lots of expectations. Mamelodi Sundowns traveling to Cairo to take on Pyramids in the second leg of the CAF Champions League. Unfortunately, the result not going their way. 2-1 to Pyramids. They're the kings of African football. Sundowns walk away with a silver medal. What went wrong?
Firstly, you guys, when I do this, that means I'm apologizing to you guys. Why am I apologizing? Because I said Sundowns will win 2-1. I had that in me, that Sundowns will win 2-1. Until last night, the second half, where I had different feelings. And I was like, Sundowns, they're not playing Sundowns way. They're not playing the entertaining football that we know. The players, they are not expressing themselves the way we know them. Ribeiro, Allende. Yes, Mukwena, there and there because he doesn't stop pushing. Then I had different feelings in our time. Then I said, look, if Sundowns will win this Champions League, everyone will think Sundowns are on the right track. But from my personal view, Sundowns are declining in terms of their philosophy, in terms of how they play football, the creativity. Because now we can even go to the football details and say, how many chances did Sundowns created? Is it the Sundowns that we all know? That's where I said to myself, I don't see Sundowns winning. Sundowns, I said last night after time, Sundowns is going to lose 2-1 against Pyramids. Look, this final was between the coaches, not players. And I said it before. I said, there's games where you'll see players playing and win. There's games where it's up to the coaches in terms of how they put the team together, players in good positions, in right positions, good players in the first lineup. And for me, it's for Sundowns, it was not that case. And then now it takes us back, me personally, to say, let's look at how Sundowns, they went to the final. All of us will be convinced. Really? Let's be really honest in this case now. All of us, we were looking forward really. Yes, I mean, they are representing South Africa, Betway Premiership, they're playing Champions League final. Obviously, we'll want them to win. But let's be realistic. Did find their way in a good manner in terms of how they get to the final? For me, no. Look at firstly against Esperance, how they escape in the manner of the VAR. That was a clean goal. Very clean goal. Again, look at how they got to the final against Alache. On goal. They didn't score. That's an on goal. It was supposed to say to people, hey, we are not on the right track. Look again, the goal that they scored last night. Let's be realistic. That's an offside. That's an offside. If you want me to tell you more, I can tell you more. The reason why that defender had to rise and head that ball is because of Shalulile was behind him. That means Shalulile, he was interfering in the game. Because if Shalulile was not there, then the message from the keeper was going to be saying to his defender, leave the ball, it's outside. Then they're safe. But because of Shalulile was behind, then that defender has to go for that ball. That means Shalulile was interfering with the game. So when you interfere to the game, we call it an offside because he was in an offside position. Then they got a goal. Good. We're happy Sundowns scored. But deep inside, I said, yeah, they scored. But they'll lose the game. Because one, Sundowns, they lack creativity in the midfield. Allende playing more deep. Adams was in the midfield, but nowhere to be seen. Always occupying an area, but we didn't see him in terms of connecting with his colleagues in the midfield. And again, Ribeiro was playing wide on the right. No supply to Ribeiro. Ribeiro was put in a compromising position for the team because he's not a player that can give you anything when he's wide. But when it comes in the middle, where he needs to get those pockets, then that's where you'll see the best of Ribeiro. And yeah, man, look, in all of this, we can say all the things. I just feel sorry for the boys. These boys, they were always in the camp, always at training, always traveling. They didn't spend time with their families, with their kids, with their wives. And it takes a lot. It takes a lot for them. And last night, I felt sorry for them that they had to get to this point where somebody has to take a decision for them to go through and be champions of Africa. And that person didn't come to the party last night. For me, personally, he sold the game to them. I put an argument last night with my friends again. I said to them, guys, if we're going to question, because I said personally, we were supposed to start with Mshishi. And people were saying, no, but Mshishi was not playing, the match fitness and all of that. I said, look, you know, when you've got experience, as much as you need fitness, but it's better. Mshishi did play some few minutes. Look at that game against Al Ahly when he came in. You know, everyone started to be in the game. Everyone started to click. Now, that's where you see Sundowns with that pass and move, creating chances, attacking them in the middle, use the width, balance their game. That's where you saw Sundowns. But now, Mshishi was in the bench. And then what really pissed me off was Reina scored a goal. You take him out. You put Mutiba, who didn't play for the past 6 months. He didn't play. Hey guys, listen to me. He didn't play for the past 6 months. Then you put him in the final, where we want the star. As Sundowns and South African team. It's all South Africans. We wanted Sundowns to win the game and get a star. Then you don't play Mshishi. Mshishi played this Champions League. He won it. He's got experience. He showed us that what is that he can do, what is that he can give to the team. We saw against Al Ahly. And then you don't play him. Then you put somebody who didn't play for the past 6 months in a final like this. For me, the coach sold the Champions League to the Pyramids.
So you talk about the coach, and we need to have an open and honest conversation about Coach Cardoso. Brought in towards the end of 2024, November, December. He's been at the club for around 6 months or so. But we know the reason why he was brought in. He was brought in after Rulani was let go for not winning the CAF Champions League. He lost one game in the league last season. Mangoba tried to balance the ship. Things didn't go according to plan. Flemingberg then brings in Cardoso. The question now is Is Cardoso the man for Sundowns?
Let me just remind people. I just want you guys to take you back so that you can see when I come very strongly. Where am I coming from? Coach Cardoso, when he came, his visa was already ready. When Rulana left, they gave Mangoba. Mind you, when the new coach comes, they need to prepare a visa for him, a work permit for him. For Cardoso, his work permit was already there. So that means when, I want you guys to see this. When Rulale left Sundowns, that means Cardoso was already coming. So when they put Coach Mangoba and Steve Compella there, they knew what's going to happen. Then they prepare Cardoso, his work permit, because the time when they announced him, his work permit was already approved. What does it say to you guys as supporters in terms of how they treat our South African coaches? Okay. Here's now what we want to talk about now. Very interesting. Coach Rulane, I love him. Besides being a South African coach, I love him. I love how he plays football, the way he coach, his team, organization, the way they play. If remember, Al-Ahly is the best team in Africa. If you can make Al-Ahly feel that even when they play home game, but they feel like they're playing away, that's how Rulane turns an away game and make it a home game with the type of football that he was playing at Sundowns. Rulane won AFL. Rulane won the league. He only lost one game. Rulane, he lost in the finals, all the finals, in our domestic cup. He lost them. Then he lost in the semi-final of the Champions League. Then Sundowns says, Rulane must go because we want to win the Champions League. We're investing a lot of money buying overseas players because we want the Champions League. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. He lost. Thank you. That means whoever comes at Sundowns needs to win the league. He needs to win the Champions League. That's what they said. They want the Champions League. So now, as Cardoso lost in the Champions League, that means he needs to go. He needs to go. And not him alone. With his technical director. With the technical director, he even said, Rulane lost. It didn't win the Champions League. We want the coach that will win us the Champions League because we invested a lot of money in getting overseas players. That means you are wrong. You're wrong. Technical director. Flembeck, you need to go. Take your man that you already prepared him with a work permit when Coach Mangoba Mneti was sitting in the bench there at Sundowns with Coach Tim Kobela. Behind his back, you went and get Coach Cardoso and prepare a work permit for him. Because the time you announced him, his work permit was already approved. So he went straight to the field of play. Why he was not in the same position like other coaches, our Coach Nabi and Jose, where they had to wait for the work permit? If you didn't go behind the back of the coach, Mangoba Mneti. So I want you guys to see where the truth is in terms of running that institution. And now, Sundowns, they're coming back now. They're coming back to what they were doing before when they used to sign buy players, when they need to change coaches left and right and center. They're going back to that now. Because now they put themselves in this position to say, we released Rulane because he didn't win the Champions League. So now that means whoever comes must win the Champions League. So Cardoso lost the Champions League. He needs to go. And my wish now is that Sundowns, I'm asking, I'm pleading to the management, to the chairman, to the president, to the board members, all the directors. I'm pleading. Flemberg, thank you very much. Coach Cardoso, thank you very much. Call Rolane, sit him down. Let's hear his side of his story, Rolane. Then he needs to also to listen to you as a management of the team, and then sit down and find a solution. When there's a problem, there must be a solution. And I'm saying this because, one, why do you allow you guys Sundowns, a young coach like Rolando, who's doing very well? He's doing very well. He did very well Sundowns. His record, no one right now except Coach Pito. No one now. He's still young. He's got a long way to go. Try and get a professor, somebody that would guide him. Somebody that, there's certain things that as human beings, sometimes we do because of, yes, I'm achieving things. Who can tell me? But if we get, some knowledgeable people, the professors that will sit down with me, try and make me see life in a different eye, not with my eye. Because sometimes with my eye, I will always say, no, but this is black, even when I see that even it's gray. So I need somebody that will say, no, this black is not the black that you see. This is a dark gray. A dark gray, not black. It's a dark gray. So I think if they can get a professor, and then that is going to guide him, that is going to talk to him, amkhulise, make him grow, because it's very important to think. In life, we all grow. We need to listen to the young ones. Basimamele laba abancane and nalaba abadala nabo they need ukuthi nathi sibamamele to say, you guys nihambile le ndlela lena, njoba nihambile le ndlela lena, and then we coming Tina as a youth, as a young ones. What is it that you guys you've went through before that we can try and avoid Tina as a youth that are coming in now? So I'm saying now, it's not yet over at Sundowns. You've got good players, players that by themselves, they can also win games, they can also win trophies, but they need a proper guidance. And I believe that if Sundowns they can get, it's not late, they can get Rolane, sit down with Rolane, and then this team can go back and be a very powerful team again.
So we have to talk about matters on the field.
Yeah.
We've spoken about the coach, but also at times one has to be open and honest and say the coach can only do so much. Players on the field need to take charge because they are the ones who are supposed to win the game. We need to talk about, let's start with Kekana. That first goal. What happened there? Was that a mistake? Was that a pass? Because that first goal going in, you could even see the body language of the Sundowns players dropping a little bit. Crucial mistake. Your analysis on that mistake.
Football is a game of mistakes. And we all need to accept that mistake will be there. And the most important thing is how you come back from that. And I think after that, he responded very well, Kekana. Look, a cross that I still believe, I think that Mudiba was supposed to do better. Go into that's why before I can get to that, explain the whole action in that. That's why I said last week, I'm worried about Sundowns in a manner that this team, that they are good when they use the width and bring those crosses. I said that. And how are you going to close down those guys to avoid them to make those crosses? Because they're good at making those crosses and they've got good finishers in that. So Mudiba made a mistake to allow that cross to go. But now, here's my issue here. When everyone drops back, seeing that it's going to be a cross, Kekana, Libusa, Mudau, and Mukwena. Did they also look at around, see their surroundings? What's happening? Am I picking somebody? Am I alone? I can trap the ball and then change direction and play. For me, when that cross came, Kekana was not aware that he was alone. If he was aware, he was going to trap that ball and goes to the right side where Mudau was. But because he was not aware that he was alone, he wanted to play where he was facing. And where he was facing, it was Mukwena just in front of him. But when he made that pass to Mukwena, it didn't go directly to Mukwena. And this guy, Mayele, I can score. This guy, he's not a ball player. He's a goal scorer. When he gets an opportunity, he will punish you. Look at that mistake. Couple of seconds on that pass. It didn't even get to Mukwena. Mayele came in, boom, first touch, far post there, goal. And that was like a killer. That was a killer because no one thought that obviously Kekana will lose the ball in that manner. And again, no one thought that Mayele was going to take it first time. Most of strikers, what they do, they will want to control first and then try, to do something. But for Mayele, when the ball came, it just went to the ball, first time shot down there. And no chance for Williams. But what I'm saying is that, yes, one, avoid the cross. If the game plan was proper from the coach to say, let's avoid those crosses. Modiba will knew that I must make sure that I close him down. He would rather turn and go back than for him to put that cross. Because the coach was supposed to really knew that on the first leg, how they scored a goal. It's because of the cross. So now, and against, that's why I'm sorry to go back a bit about the coach to say, you've analyzed them. You saw them against Pirates, how they scored. Through the width. They used the width. Cross, goal. First leg, they did that. Second leg, they did that. And your first leg, they did that again. And then again now, on the second leg, you still not emphasizing in terms of close the supplier. Close the width. Make sure they don't put those crosses. And if they put those crosses, then we must know how to deal with those crosses. And I think for me, the coach failed that. But now it says, come back to the players. Screen around. Check your surroundings. What's happening? If I don't have anyone, the ball comes, they receive the ball, and then they start and play. And Kekana made a mistake, and the team got punished.
Mr. To, let's move on to that brilliant opportunity that Sundowns had in the first half. Matthews, who one would consider a lethal striker, 1v1 with the goalkeeper. Unfortunately, he didn't score. Your analysis, and also keeping in mind that if that goal was scored, it would have been 2-2. Sundowns wins. Your analysis of that moment.
One, I will start to the action itself. The player that I've been crying for, that has been played out of position, Ribeiro. The coach wants him wide to place the right wing. Ribeiro took a decision to come in the midfield. When he came to that midfield, he got a ball. That's the Ribeiro that we know. He got a ball, and it did what we always expect him to do. He played that pass to Matthews. Matthews 1v1. Look, it happens in the game. It does happen. Top players in the world, sometimes they go 1v1, they missed. Some, they don't even hit the target. It just went outside. Straight, direct outside. But I think, he was supposed to do better. I mean, in that position, he made a very good run to come in there. And if he gave himself a couple of seconds, the keeper was already on his left pole. He covered that pole and he waited for him to shoot on his right side. And I thought there, he was supposed to dribble him, go to his left side, because already the keeper is here on his right side. If it took some couple of seconds just to dribble him to go his left side, then he was going to see the goal post and then maybe use his left foot to put it in. But yeah, man, it was going to make a huge difference if Matthew scored that opportunity. And unfortunately, it didn't work out. It didn't work out. And it was the last minute of second half. And I felt sorry for him that he got that opportunity. And at this stage of football, Champions League final, you get an opportunity like this, you need to punish. You need to punish. Look at what Mayele did. A mistake from the defense. Mayele punish. Same Pyramids. They made a mistake in terms of being squared in that defense. And there were spaces in between. That's where Ribeiro played that pass in between. And Mendes was there. Punish them, boy. But yeah, man, it was going to make a huge difference in terms of Sundowns coming back second half with that goal. Because, yeah, with that goal, it was going to make a huge difference. I think maybe they'll realize. But for me, I still say it was a blessing in disguise, because if really Sundowns won, yeah.
So you said it was a blessing in disguise that Sundowns lost the CAF Champions League final, but the focus has to now shift to the next competition that lies ahead, the Club World Cup. They're traveling all the way to America. Are there some lessons that they can take from this defeat? Because they now need to focus on taking on the best in the world, even though they fell short on the African continent. Yeah. But the best in the world will not make it easy.
Look, it's going to be tough for Sundowns. For them, they should. I've got a feeling that they've learned last night against the Pyramids to say the level is high. The level is high. You made a mistake, they will punish you. And now we're going to play against the top teams in the world. You make a mistake, they will punish you. They will never, you're not going to get away with it. They will punish you. And I hope they've learned that mistakes like what Ukekana did, they will punish you. And again, you'll never win if you are not creating chances. If it was the Sundowns that we all know in terms of creating chances, last night they would create a lot of chances. They were supposed to create a lot of chances, and definitely, if they did create a lot of chances, then they will, even if they lose the final, they will lose the final with pride in terms of we did our best, we've created chances, we've missed. But for me, it was not the Sundowns that really. I believe and think that going to the Club World Cup, they'll do well. I think I'm sorry to say this. If we're gonna play the way we played against Pyramid, we're going to be hammered heavily. If we're gonna play against we played against Pyramid, I'm telling you, Sundowns, they're gonna be hammered because of. They compromise themselves in football. There's one thing that I always preach and say in football, to say I would rather lose with me being me, not lose because me I wanted to intimidate but things funny so imitate something from somebody else, and then it did work for him. No, it's not going to work for me. What Alakhane they did before with the type of football that Alakhane they display is not the type of football that Sundowns they display, and that's why it's not working for Sundowns. Sundowns they've lost it's like they've lost their soul in terms of the way they're playing now. There's no creativity. We don't see the special players or Ribeiro showing us what is that he can do. We've got experienced player that won the Champions League that didn't play in the Champions League, Umshishi, that we all know that what is it that he can do. So Sundowns, they lost their soul in terms of the way they're playing football. So going to the Club World Cup, playing the way they did last night against Pyramid, I'm telling you, they're going to get shocked of their lives.
Babuto, we wish them well as they head to the Club World Cup. Let's shift our focus to the Betway Premiership. The last time we spoke, you said that there's no small friendly game for Orlando Pirates.
Yes.
And then they drew, Grootman. That's how they ended the season.
Yeah.
Was that a reflection of their season? So close, but yet so far. And also, is it again emphasizing the fact that Jose Riviero was such a vital component of the success of Orlando Pirates? After he left, draw after draw after draw.
It tells you the influence of the coach. You know, it's always going to be difficult. It's always going to be difficult when you're going to give an assistant coach that position of being interim coach with the players. The relationship that the assistant coaches got to the players. And, you know, there's these levels of being a head coach and being an assistant coach. Those levels are not the same. You are a coach, but you've been put as an assistant coach. And then this one is the head coach. He takes decisions. And it's going to be difficult now when you come to this seat, being an assistant to the very same players, the same team, and become a head coach is going to be difficult because now the thing is they will change. The attitude of the players, the way you want them to play, because for me, it shows that, we know you coach, but man. You know, the response from the players was not positive for me, and I think this thing of Ribeiro leaving, I thought maybe they will. He's gonna stay. He's gonna stay until the last game and then leave the team, because you know when you leave a team in that situation, in that manner, for me it was a killer, and I knew that they were not gonna do well. I knew that they're not gonna do well, and man, it's said that they started very well, Orlando Pirates, and I remember saying this season Pirates will win the league. When I saw Coach Mangoba and Coach Steve Kompela, that is Coach Mangoba head coach, Steve Kompela assistant coach, then I said now Pirates will win the league. And Sundowns were very smart. They make their move, they step, Ulontuzano, Flembeck step at the back, Coach Mangoba, and bring in Coach Cardoso. And everything started to change. But look, Pirates, they had a good season. Yes, they've won MTN 8, and they lost in the final Nedbank Cup, second in the table, and they're going to play again the Champions League. And for me, I think this season to play also Champions League, get to the semi-final, they did very well. And last night when I was watching Sundowns, I even said, I wish if it was Pirates going to the final, because we are going to see a very interesting final where there will be creativity, there will be attack, not defensive football. Like, Sundowns, they play as if they want to do, but create chances, but at the very same time, they are very static in how they played. And for Orlando Pirates, and looking at Jose to introduce these young boys, Abombogazi, Abondlozi, Unkota, obviously Mfukeng. I think Paris did very well with those young boys. Our talented, they also came to the party. Chayine, Ban CBC, they're the big CBC, well done. I'll clap hands. Look, you've shown growth. You've shown leadership skills. You improved a lot in that defense of Orlando Pirates. You did very well. You had a very, 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 very good season. After, I would say, maybe a long time watching you from Arrow. I mean, yeah, I think Arrows is. I think Arrows. If not Amazulu, I think Arrows. You did very well. You did very well. This season, you had a best season. And obviously, playing again with Abu Sesane there at the back, and Bogazi came in. You guys did very well. And look, don't look down on the Pirates. You did very well. You did very well. Just continue working hard. I hope the Dr. Ivan Koza will get the coach as soon as possible, so that the coach can prepare his team in terms of the preseason. But you guys, at least this season, you've tried to push Sundowns until normally we know that as soon as it goes to the second round, the league is done. But this season, you've pushed Sundowns to say, hey, let's go. We are there. If you miss, we are there. And well done. Pirates, you did very well.
So let's talk about a team that you've mentioned a few times on To's Football Wisdom.
Yeah.
SuperSport United, Andre Arendse. Just. That final game that was played on Thursday, of course, we saw the power outage at the Lucas Morepe Stadium. And then they had to conclude that last 45 minutes. Fortunately, ending in a 1-1 draw. Meaning that SuperSport are still in the PSL. Your thoughts on that? Your thoughts on Coach Andre Arendse? But also there are speculations and rumors that we could be seeing Bloem Celtics come back into top flight football in South Africa.
Matlatlanza Apitori. It's I feel otherwise when I saw Coach Andre Arendse. He was my senior, he was my leader at the national team in Bafana Bafana. When I saw him crying there, saving the status of Masanza Pitori, I can say, man, it was tough. It was tough. And this is one team that I ask myself, how do they find themselves in that position? I ask myself, how do they find themselves in that position? Because one, when you look at the quality players that the SuperSport United they produce, it's for me, I couldn't understand why they end up in that position. If I'm not mistaken, you guys correct me if I'm making a mistake here. Since I was born, I've never seen SuperSport United fighting in that position, fighting to survive. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I know SuperSport will always be top 8, top 5. That's where SuperSport will always be. In the whole seasons that I've been around in terms of football itself. And in this season, they find themselves in a very difficult position and they survive. And Baba Lapana, Baba Kulisbia. Man, bekunzima baba. I understand. Akekho umuntu ofuna ukubona ilegacy yakhe just go down nje iyehle nje kanjalo. You've worked for years and years and years ukuthi that team ibe khona ku PSL and play beautiful football, and then the development is also good. And well done for you guys to survive. And now it's about the table now. Hlelwe phansi manje. Sihlalwa phansi. Are you, Babu Kulsbia, gonna sell the team to Bloemfontein? Because Bloemfontein, I think they're hungry for football. Yayibona bathe yazama eMarumo Gallant but engathi ayihlangani kahle lento le eMarumo Gallant engathi ufuna ukuzama, so engathi kuza yona manje iyeza yona straight iza kuwe iCeltic bathi bacela istatus leso. Are you gonna give it to them based on what happened this season, or are you gonna say no? I'll go back to my roots. I'll go back to my roots and do what I used to do best in terms of the organization, in terms of development, producing players, and sustain the team. We're waiting and see. But people are saying the team is already gone. I think everything was put in that game arrows to say, guys, for me to get my 70 million back, can you survive, please? Because if you're not going to survive, then that means I'm going to lose 40 million and get 30 million. Because if the team goes down, the value goes down. So that means in terms of the money part, you get my status at 70 million, I give it to you, Celtic. But if I go down, that means I'll take 30 million. I think Coach Andre Arendse, Coach Grant Johnson, you guys did very well to make Ubabu Kulisibia angakhaleli all these years of spending his money, not sleeping at home, making sure that everything runs smooth in the team. And Babu Kulisibia, you did very well. You did very well. And even if you decide now to say, you know what, so mfanam, no, I'm tired, ngikhathele manje. Retire. I'm selling the team to Bloemfontein. I will never point a finger at you to say, no, why can't you go on and on and on? No. I'm not gonna say that. For me, ibonisa indlela yokuthi, you know, sometimes we don't want to talk as people, but the energy, must say iphele energy, ama-signs ayavela. That's why se retire ebholweni ukudlala, because I can see ukuthi ayilento okuvuka ekseni yojima manje angisakhoni. Leyo ukuthi ngizodlala 90 minutes ngenze box to box angeke ngisakwazi ukuyenza. So for ukuthi ngabe exposed ekutheni ukuthi amaroots okhathele uyaforce akaphume, let me retire ngiphumele. So if you can take that decision, Babu Kulisibia, I will never falter you. Mina tso vilakazi la kutso football wisdom. Look, angeke ngizokufault. You did wonders. It was not easy, but I wish you all the best with the team.
So let's touch on the team that's at the bottom of the log. We know that Role M have been expelled. So number 15 is Cape Town City, a team that in the past they've done well. They were flying there, top 5 when Benny McCarthy was still involved. Yeah. This season, it was a different story, a very painful story for the team from Cape Town. One would ask the question, was it a mistake to fire Eric Tinkler? Of course, it's now at Sekhukhune United. They brought in a coach like Mushini Etugral as well to try and save the ship. But all their plans that they made this season, it didn't work out. What went wrong for the team from Cape Town?
You know, when you've been in the game, you've served this football. We saw you. We saw what is it that you can do. And all of a sudden, things they happened the way they did happen for Cape Town City. You know, I spoke to the chairman of John Committees a couple of weeks ago. When his father passed away, and I spoke to him, sending a message, and may his soul rest in peace. And the chairman of John Committees, Aksumundo is all in this game. It didn't start yesterday. He's been there for years. He's got experience. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened that he find himself in this position with all the experience that he's got, with all the knowledge of him running football. Remember, I'm talking about somebody who was running Ajax Cape Town, the team that was giving everyone a headache in the PSL, a team that produced players that they went overseas. Abu Serrero. Not 1, 2, 3, 4 players. They went overseas from that team. You remember that team about Steven Pinar, Sean Porchiter, abo Pogimpu, abo Clifford Muliko, Clifford Ngobeni, sorry, Clifford Ngobeni. You still remember those players? Kama Biliati, you still remember? You know, that was John Committee's being in charge of that team. And then now I ask myself, what happened to him in terms of the what you call it, the team to be in that situation where now they'll be number 15 and fighting to survive in that. What happened? And then now it says to me, something went wrong. Something went wrong in terms of putting the things together in the team and finding yourself with all the experience, that you've got in terms of running the team, getting players, release players, sign coaches, have good coaches. I don't know what happened. But let me tell you, Chairman. I've got a soft spot for you. We learn. I learn personally. I learn when I look at you as a chairman of Cape Town City in terms of being in the game itself, how other chairmen and directors of the other teams, they respect in terms of you being in the game and what you have done in the game. We respect you a lot. I respect you a lot because you've shown what is it that you can do in the game. Not once, not twice, but many times. You've shown that you've got leadership skills. You take good decisions at the right time. And it happens. Chairman, it happens. Not only you. It happens all over the world. In all the owners of the team, the directors of the team, the presidents of the team, it does happen that sometimes, when you are still watching and then just something just come to your eye, and the minute you're still trying to clear what is in your eye, and then when you open your eyes, you find yourself in a very difficult position. It does happen. So that means we all learn in this game to say, I must make sure that wherever I go, I make sure that I go in a place where nothing will come and make my eyes to blink. Because once your eyes will blink, you'll find yourself in a very difficult position. But believe me, you can survive. You can still be back next season. I believe these players, these teams that are playing NFT, I don't disrespect them. No. But the quality that you've got in that team, I still believe that you can still come back in the Betway Premiership come next season. Ngiyabonga bafethu. Ningakhohlwa bafethu njalo. It's Football Wisdom. Please share, like, post, and we are on Omni Audio Africa. Oi.